will see the next experiment, which is on cooling tower. So in case of cooling tower, where is cooling tower used? Where we use water condenser, water cooled condenser. So water from the condenser, hot water, after taking up the heat from refrigerant, it is sent to cooling tower. So that water is cooled and it is again reused. So that is recirculated water system. Okay. So understand the setup first. Here bottom we have water sump, and from water sump here you can see a pipe is there and it is connected to a pump. Now in this setup we don't have actually condenser. So what is done? Water from the sump, it is taken with the help of motor in this direction, and here some bypass is there. So part of the water can be bypassed back to the tank, and some water it is sent to the flow meter. Okay, so here we have rotameter from where we can measure what is LPM of water. Now from this rotameter, water goes to heater number 1, whose switch is over here, and then it goes to heater number 2, whose switch is over here. And then from here you can see one red pipe is there, it goes to the cooling tower. Okay, so now this is cooling tower. What it does, hot water from the top, it falls in downward direction because of gravity, and if you see here, watch glass has been given. So inside this there is a mesh. So basically water, it will splash on the mesh and it will form droplets, and at the same time you can see here blower is there. So this blower, it will force the air from the bottom side of the cooling tower. So hot water, it travels from top to bottom, and air, atmospheric air, it travels from bottom to top. So basically what will happen, that hot water, it will give away its heat to air, and air will exit from top, and water, hot water, water which was falling from top to bottom, it will be cooled and it will again fall in the sump. So basically here in this arrangement, instead of using condenser, okay, we are using heater to heat the water. And in cooling tower, from top hot water is falling down, and from bottom air is moving in upward direction. So basically air is cooling the hot water. Okay. Now in actual systems, what will happen? From water cooled condenser, hot water, it will come from the top of the cooling tower, and that hot water is cooled. And from the sump, that hot water, the water whose temperature has become normal, it is again sent back to the water cooled condenser. So basically, this is the way in which we are avoiding condenser in this system. Okay, now there are two fans. One fan you can see, one blower is there. So this blower switch is provided over here. Okay, and on this blower some markings are there, so that we can adjust the flow rate of air in this cooling tower. So this is the pipe along which the air flows, and the air will flow from bottom to top. So when we are turning on bottom fan, it is forced draft cooling tower. Okay, and there is a fan on the top side as well. If we turn on that fan, that cooling tower is known as induced draft cooling tower. Okay, so these are the two types of mechanical draft cooling tower. Okay, so there is natural draft and mechanical draft cooling tower. So natural draft means it will be natural convection, and mechanical draft we have two types. One is forced draft, in which blower location is towards the bottom of the cooling tower, and in induced draft the fan location is on the top side. Now we will see the fan location. Now here you can see on the top side fan location is there. So we have bottom side, one blower is there. If this is turned on, it will be forced draft cooling tower. If this is turned off and we turn on the fan which is there on the top, this one, so in that case it will become induced draft cooling tower. Okay, now here you can see manometer is provided, which is connected to this pipe. So it will basically measure the flow rate of air through this blower. Okay, so what readings we have to take? We have to take temperature reading using this digital indicator. We have to take LPM of water. We have to measure the manometric height difference over here to measure the flow rate of air. These things we have to measure. Now we will see what are the parameters, what are the different temperatures which we have to measure. Okay, so now we are on the top side of the cooling tower. Here you can see water sump is there, and from water sump the bottom pipe, it goes to the pump, and from the pump here you can see this tube, it enters over here. Okay, this, and it exits from top. Okay, so now that part, it is rotameter where LPM is measured. Then from rotameter, here you can see this pipe, inclined one, it enters here and it exits from top. So this is first heater, and from top again it enters to the bottom side and it again exits from the top. This is second heater. Now from second heater, the hot water, it enters to the top of the cooling tower. So here you can see this is fan of induced draft cooling tower. Okay, so here you can see one thermocouple is there which will measure hot water inlet temperature. Now that hot water, it will fall in downward direction, air will be sucked in upward direction, and we will see the bottom part now. Now on bottom side you can see this is one more thermocouple which is measuring the water outlet temperature. Now moving on to the temperature readings. So we have already seen hot water inlet temperature, which is on the top side. Then T2 is hot water outlet temperature, which was on the bottom side of the cooling tower. Then T3 is air inlet dry bulb temperature. Now air is entering from the bottom side. Okay, so here you can see blower is there, and this is the pipe, and from here the air enters the cooling tower. This is the cooling tower. Okay, so from the bottom side, if you see T3 temperature, here it is written T3. So this will be air inlet dry bulb temperature. Next temperature T4, it is air inlet wet bulb temperature. Okay, so here you can see this temperature. Here if you measure the temperature, this will be air inlet wet bulb temperature. Okay, so this one is T3 and this one is T4. Now basically, before taking the reading, we have to remove this. Okay, and from here you can see here cloth is there. This cloth will be wet cloth, and then we have to attach it like this inside this one. So this will be wet bulb temperature and this one will be dry bulb temperature. Now after that, that is inlet dry bulb temperature. Okay, air inlet dry bulb temperature and air inlet wet bulb temperature. Now T5 and T6, these are air outlet dry bulb temperature and air outlet wet bulb temperature. Okay, so here you can see on the top side we have T5, which is air inlet dry bulb temperature, and T6, that can again be removed, and the cloth, we have to wet the cloth before inserting the sensor again. So that T6 will be wet bulb temperature of exiting air. Air outlet dry bulb temperature, which is T5, and T6 is air outlet wet bulb temperature. Then T7 and T8 are intermediate temperature of air in the tower. So here you can see this one is T7 and this one is T8. Okay, so we have covered all the temperature part. Now this is a manometer which is basically connected to air inlet pipe so that we can measure air flow rate. And next this is heater number 1 and this is heater number 2, and the switch of heater 1, this one is switch of heater 1 and this one is switch of heater 2. And here you can see a rotameter is there which will measure what is the flow rate of water. Now flow rate of water, it can be adjusted, okay, with the help of a valve. Now here you can see this blower is there. This blower, it can be turned on using this switch. Okay, so here you can see if you press this switch, the blower will turn on. And if you see over here one more option is given of turning on the fan. So if you turn on this one, this knob, we can turn on that induced draft fan which is there on the top side of the cooling tower. If you see the bottom side of the cooling tower, this is water sump, and from here water enters the pump, and from discharge of this pump here you can see there is a diversion. So some part of water it can again be sent back to the sump. Okay, so this, if you operate this valve over here, we can regulate the water which is entering the cooling tower. Okay, and again this valve also we can use to regulate the water which enters the cooling tower. Now if this is kept closed 100%, all the water which is coming from the sump, it will go to the cooling tower. Okay, but if this is opened a bit, so there will be bypass of water and some water will bypass back to the water sump. Okay, so in this way we can manage the water flow rate which is going to the cooling tower. So we will be starting with the experimentation part. Now while performing experiments in the observation table, first 3 readings we will keep mass flow rate of water as constant, okay, around 4 lpm, and next 2 readings we will increase the mass flow rate of water. So first initially for 3 readings it will be 4 lpm, then 4th reading we will keep it as 6 lpm, and last reading we will keep it as 7.2 lpm. Okay, so liquid flow rate for first 3 reading it is constant and then it is increasing, and for first 3 readings when mass flow rate of water is constant, we will increase the air flow rate. So here you can see blower is there, so we will operate this valve which has been placed over here so that we can increase the flow rate of air entering the cooling tower from the bottom side. So initially it will be almost closed, then partially opened, and then fully open. So for three positions we will get 3 values of air flow rate, okay, while keeping water flow rate as 4 lpm. Then we will fix whatever the final air flow rate is there, and we will change the flow rate of water so that we can compare what happens when water flow rate is constant, air flow rate is increased, and when air flow rate is constant and we increase water flow rate, what is the effect on performance of cooling tower. So first reading I have already adjusted the rotameter to 4 lpm. Okay, so now right now if you see, when I start the setup, the lpm whatever value we get, it will be 4 lpm. Okay, and the valve position it will be almost close. So I'll start the setup. After starting the first we will start the pump, then we have to start the heater. Okay, don't start the heater first. So blower we will start, then we will start pump, and then we will start heater. Okay, and then we have to read the temperatures as shown in this indicator. So I have started the blower, I have started the water pump. Okay, pump switch, you can see this is the pump switch, and I have started both the heaters. Okay, so right now cooling tower is in working condition, and we will see the value of mass flow rate of water. Okay, so here you can see LPM of water, it is maintained at 4 LPM. So for first 3 readings we will keep the water flow rate constant. Okay, water flow rate it can be adjusting using the valve which is there on the bottom side. So using this valve we can operate the water flow rate. This is the bypass. Okay, so this is water sump, and from water sump here you can see a pump is there. Using this pump, that water is sent to the cooling tower from the top side after heating. Okay, now motion of water, hot water, it is from top to bottom, while air it travels from bottom to top. Okay, so now after waiting 10 minutes we have to take the readings. Now we will take the readings. LPM is 4 LPM and the manometric difference height, it is 220 and on bottom side it is 101. Okay, we have to take difference. Now what is this? Here you can see this blower, it is connected to orifice, and using these two pipes we can measure here difference in height. Okay, so this difference we have measured. Then we will take the readings of temperature. T1 is 42, T2, which is hot water outlet temperature, 31, T3, air inlet dry bulb temperature is 31, T4, air inlet wet bulb temperature, then T5, air outlet dry bulb temperature. Okay, so readings are T1 is 41, T2 31, T3 31, T4 32, T5 37. What is T5? Air outlet dry bulb temperature. Then T6, air outlet wet bulb temperature, 34, T7 31 and T8 40. Okay, so these are temperatures T7 and T8, intermediate temperatures. Now we will change the flow rate of air. Okay, so right now this valve, it is approximately closed. Okay, so we will open this valve so that the manometric reading will change. Okay, we are increasing the flow rate of air. Right now you can see flow rate is minimum. Okay, valve is almost closed. Okay, so we will open the valve. So we have kept same flow rate of water. So LPM value you can see it is same, 4 LPM, but we have increased the flow rate of air. Okay, now we will wait for 10 minutes and take the readings again. Okay, now next reading we will take. Okay, so LPM of water, it will remain same, 4 LPM. We have not changed flow rate of water. Then manometer reading. Top side we have 250 and bottom side we have 250 and bottom side it is around 70. Okay, now we will check the temperatures value. T1 is 44, T2 31, T3 31, T4 31, T5 36, T6 35, T7 31 and T8 40. Now after taking the readings, we will again increase the flow rate of air. Okay, we are going to keep same flow rate of water. So we have again increased the flow rate of air. Now we will wait for 10 minutes and take the readings again. Now we will take reading number 3. So LPM is same, 4 LPM. And manometer difference, this is 300. And on the bottom side we have 20. So 300 and bottom side we have 20. We'll take the temperature values. T1 is 45, T2 30, T3 30, T4 30, T5 35, T6 34, T7 30, T7 29, T8 40. Again we have to wait for 10 minutes. Now I'll change the flow rate of water. Okay, so I'll close this bypass wall so that the flow rate of water increases. Now on the bottom side I have adjusted this wall. Okay, this is bypass wall, bypass back to the water sump. So I have adjusted this, I have closed this so that more water can enter the setup, and you can see the effect on LPH value. So right now LPH it is showing approximately around 6 LPM. Okay, so water flow rate is 6 LPM. Now we will wait for 10 minutes and take fourth reading by keeping the flow rate of air constant. We will now take reading number 4. So we have not changed air flow rate and we have increased the water flow rate to 6 LPM. Okay, now the air flow rate will remain same, no need to take this reading again. And the temperature values, temperature T1 is 40, T2 is 30, T3 is 30, T4 30, T5 36, T5 35, T6 34, T7 32 and T8 39. Okay, now we will increase the flow rate of water. Okay, after taking the reading we will increase the flow rate of water by closing the wall. Okay, so I'll close the bypass wall over here. After closing this wall, flow rate will be maximum, water flow rate. So here you can see the flow rate has increased. Okay, right now in between 6 to 8 we have total of 10 divisions. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is around 7.2 LPM. So we will wait for 10 minutes and take last reading. Now we will take the last reading. So we have not changed the airflow rate, we have increased the water flow rate, and we'll see the temperature value now. Since we have not changed this manometer reading, we are not going to take. Okay, so we will take temperature reading. T1 is 36, T2 29, T3 29, T4 29, T5 33, T6 33, T7 31 and T8 35 degrees Celsius. So with this we have completed with the readings of cooling tower.